I saved money for something I didn't really fully understand yet. In like late 1989, early 1990, I got a job at the commissary and I was a cart pusher. And I started making a lot of money for an 11, 12-year-old kid. I knew that I was gonna start saving up for that same Numark Mixer that the salesman at the BX had. So that was my dream. I was able to cop another small mixer in between that time and was just DJing on like some little home turntables, nothing too crazy. But I knew I needed to have that mixer. It was a Numark DM1775. I knew that's what I wanted because it had the 4-second sampler on it.
The 1775A mixer is Numark's first model, adding a DJ digital sampler to our normal DJ mixer.
That mixer was like $750, and I ended up getting enough money to buy it right before I was about to leave Germany and head back to Fayetteville, North Carolina. And my father told me, well, why don't you just wait? Because when we get back to the States, they're gonna have a lot more options. They might even have a better one. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna wait and see what they got when we get back over there. We make it back to the States. I'm there for a couple of weeks, and I'm looking all around the city, and I can't find that mixer anywhere. But I finally found it at this one music equipment store on Brad Boulevard, and it was like $1,500, double the price of what I was expecting to pay for it. Pretty much my dreams was dead for buying that mixer. I was heartbroken, I was let down that I couldn't get the mixer that I had saved up so long for. A couple of months later, my father had to go back to Germany. He told me while he was over there, he'll take the money and buy the mixer for me from the BX. One of the happiest days of my life is when he came back with that mixer so I could start my DJing journey. Guess what, guys? I still got it to this day. This is the mixer. It's definitely been through some things. One of the crossfaders had to be replaced back in the day. On newer mixers, they have the crossfader that you could unscrew and take it out, but this one didn't. And Filthy back in the day was trying to loosen it up so we can mix easier, and he ended up breaking this off. And I had to take this whole thing apart, like wires everywhere, and solder a new mixer slider back in place. And I had taken it off my other Numark mixer that I have, as a smaller mixer. I still got that one too. But this one right here was the one because of this 4-second sampler right here. That was the happiest day of my life when my father brought this home for me. And I've been waiting probably 6 months at that point from the original time that I wanted to buy it. I didn't know that this mixer and DJing would lead into me becoming a producer with that 4-second sampler. So we started getting creative because we only had 4 seconds. What we would start doing is taking a record and speeding it up. We'd end up getting 8 to 12 seconds because these knobs right here would allow you to manipulate the sample and turn your 4-second sample longer because you could slow it down. So if we sped up the record and sample for 4 seconds, then slowed it down, we technically had an 8-second or a 12-second sample, and we would just loop this. And that's, you know, the early days of us looping records and rapping over the loops. So that's pretty much how that started. But this mixer right here was everything and still is, and that's why I've kept it for all these years. I'm a self-proclaimed hip-hop archivist. I pretty much have my whole hip-hop history and equipment and pictures and things of that nature, and I collect records and tapes and CDs, and pretty much everything I've ever bought I've kept.